Here in New England, the warm weather means just one thing. The hard work is about to begin. So get ready to break a sweat, because I'm taking you along as I replace my raised wooden beds with concrete blocks. Today, on the New England Harvester. Hey folks, welcome back to the New England Harvester. Today I want to walk you through a project we've got going on here in the garden this season. We're going to be rebuilding our raised beds, and I think the end result is going to be a serious upgrade. Right now we've got 3 beds framed in wood planks about 10 inches deep. They've certainly done their job, but wood has a lifespan, and we've decided it's time to go in a different direction. So we're pulling up the wood and replacing it with a double layer of cinder blocks. And there are a few reasons for that. First, cinder blocks are going to last significantly longer than wood. Second, the double layer gives us more depth, which means more root space, better drainage, and healthier plants. And third, the added height and strength of those blocks means we can actually rest our half-hoop tunnel directly on the bed walls rather than sinking it into the dirt. That gives us more planting area inside the bed, and it means we're not fighting with the ground every time we try to change the tunnel position each season. We're also taking this opportunity to reconfigure the beds slightly, making them a little smaller than they currently are. The original layout made it tough to move around the outside edges of the beds comfortably, and that adds up over a full season of gardening. Shrinking them down a bit will improve the walkability of the whole space. As a bonus, that displaced soil goes right back into the beds to help make up the difference in depth from the double layer block walls. And wherever we need a little extra, I'll be pulling from my compost piles to supplement, so nothing goes to waste.
There we go.
Eleni is doing her part to help relocate some of the older growth plants that have been with us here in the garden for several seasons now. This sage bush is heading out to a new home along the border of our meadow. The fertile soil and that sunny exposure out there should keep this sage coming back strong for years to come.
Perfect.
So as you can see, we've already been out here doing some prep work, clearing any plants that came back from last year. Some were perennials and some just reseeded themselves over the winter. And we've been taking them and putting them into these canvas grow bags to help keep them safe during the rebuild. I don't know if you've used these before, but if you haven't, they're really worth knowing about. They're a great alternative to traditional pots, easy to move around, and they don't take up much space. And the plants actually do really well in them because of the airflow to the roots. All of the products we use on this show are linked on our homepage, newenglandharvester.com, so be sure to pay us a visit. There's a link in the description below. Once the soil is cleared and the walls are up on all 3 beds, we're going to treat the soil for the season and then lay out and position our irrigation lines for this year's crops. This is going to be a big day, so let's get to it. So these are the bricks that we're going to be using today. Standard 6x8x16 concrete blocks. And I'm going to need about 170 of them to build the raised bed. Now before I begin loading these bricks and bringing them down to the garden, there's something that I want to mention. One of the most important things you can have on a job like this, aside from a good pair of gloves and a strong back, is a willing gardening partner. My wife Eleni's going to be helping me out with this project today, and this will not only make it go by quicker, but it'll make it a lot more fun too. So if you're going to do this project at home, see if you can find a gardening friend to help you out. Because moving 170 concrete blocks is a project that really is much better suited for teamwork, don't you think? Now, on to loading those blocks. Okay, first thing we're doing is pulling out all the old wooden boards surrounding the current raised beds. And true to form, we'll find a way to repurpose that wood somewhere else in the garden. Rest assured it's going to find a new life as a shelf or maybe even another raised bed somewhere else on the property. Next, we lay down a guide string. With a 16-foot wall, it's incredibly easy to drift. This keeps everything in line, nice and straight. Then we clear the area for our bricks, level the ground, and tamp down the soil to eliminate any loose or sinking spots. To prevent erosion and long-term settling, we're applying a stone base, pea stone specifically, because it makes positioning the bricks to the right height and plumb angle much easier. And let's not forget, the stones get a nice tamping down as well. We want everything solid and level. Once that's done, we can start laying our brick. Remember to always start at the corner. That establishes your perpendicular angle and drives both directions of the wall. And always follow your guide string. Most importantly, do not skip the bubble level. You want this wall straight and stable. A cinder block wall tipping over on you mid-gardening is not the vibe you want. To save you from watching us build all 3 beds in real time, I've sped up the last one, just to give you a feel for the full scope of the project. Enjoy! Well, there it is. 3 wooden raised beds fully converted to cinder block. And unlike wood, these aren't going anywhere. No rot, no warping, no replacing boards every few years. These beds will outlast everything else in this garden. And because we went 2 blocks high, we've really got some depth now, which means better root development, better drainage, and happier plants and gardener all season long. Each bed took about 6 hours to build, and the whole project ran a few days start to finish. Completely worth it. Now, we did run into something while we were digging out the old beds. Something that anyone who's ever turned soil in New England is going to recognize immediately. Let me show you. I like to call these suckers New England potatoes because, honestly, look at it. It's a russet potato. Dead ringer. There's almost nowhere on this property I can put a shovel in the ground without hitting a stash of these things. It's just part of the deal up here. The glaciers left us with great soil, and they also left us with about 1 million rocks. And every spring, the frost heaves up a fresh crop. But we're not complaining. These are actually going to work perfectly as garden borders. Stack them along planting areas, use them to mark off the beds, dress up a pathway. They're free, they're natural, and honestly, they look great. Problem solved. So the last 2 things on the list for these beds is to treat the soil and finish the irrigation hookup. We tested and we're a little bit alkaline, so we're going to top dress with a little bit of composted chicken manure and composted pine straw. That'll bring everything into a better range and give the seedlings something to work with right from the start. The drip irrigation system is already subbed and just needs to be extended to the other beds, and then we're ready to plant. If you like this one, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It genuinely helps our channel. And if you've got a big project this year, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're up to. Don't forget to visit us at newenglandharvester.com. Thanks for watching, and until next time, whatever you're growing, grow it well.